Blessings. I'm Cortland. I'm from Lightworkers.org. Of course, we haven't been up for a while, but I still associate very strongly with that. That's where I really learned a lot of my lessons, what I went through at the time, which was way back in 2006. So I've been awakened for quite a while, which I think allows me to share what I know and what we're experiencing, what's been prophesied for a long time. And there's many, many other spiritual teachers out there that know this as well and have shared this. But it never hurts to get more than one perspective, two perspectives, a lot of perspectives, because it enables you to use your own discernment to see what resonates with you. So I want to start, let's just come into the present moment right now. What's going on? First of all, we've all been locked down, locked up, masked and everything for the past 6 months, damn near 6 months, for a pandemic, for something that pretty much shut down the entire world. And there's a lot of narratives to that. Conspiracy theories, narratives, he said, she said. What I want you to do, or what I think is most beneficial for everyone, is to go inside and ask. Ask yourself, ask your guides, call your guides and say, what's going on? Point me where the truth is. You're going to align with something that aligns with what you feel. Take that as your symbol, as a token of I'm on the right path. I really, I don't want to put any of my personal feelings into this because I have my own thoughts, but I will say this, and this started a long time ago. This started way back in the mid 2000s. We knew, Lightworkers knew, that something was going to happen to bring this. Something was going to come down the pike that was going to cause a global reset. It wasn't made apparent at the time, but let's just put it this way, pandemic was not out of the realm that could happen. So there were a lot of things, a lot of could be's. So now we know we've had the pandemic, and that's affected the globe. But backing up a little bit prior to, let's go back, and I know this is just going to blow a lot of people away, and I know a lot of people get really upset about this because I've watched, I listened. Let's go back to the election. Let's go back to 2016. And if you are on the path of being a light worker and or awakening and or becoming aware, which there is a difference, and I'll address that in a minute. It was known, didn't know who, but it was known that there was going to be a wild card, that someone was going to come in and be a wild card that would bring about the shift that we're in. And if somebody would have told me it was Donald Trump, I would have said, you're nuts. But it was. And if you followed politics, and lightworkers don't really follow, you have to follow politics to understand what the temperature of the world is, what the climate is. And if you followed the Clinton administration and or the Obama administration, and I don't want to use the metaphors of fake news and all that, but there were a lot of things that we were not told as just every day. If you watch CNN, MSNBC, there were just things you weren't told, but it was known. And some things got through, a lot of things didn't get through. And I can attest to some of those, that there are soldiers out there, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist. It's really not a conspiracy. It's truth. It's just that that's the narrative that some people that don't want to face truth give it. And that's okay. That's okay, because that's your truth. This whole thing with Hillary running against Trump, if you understood Hillary's past, the Clintons' past, continued past, I guess, well, it's still the past, but that was not going to bring about the change. That was not going to bring about the shift. That was not going to wake people up to what was going on. And believe it or not, as bad as this pandemic is, if you understand how light works, the dark is rising because the light is shining brighter. So the pandemic, something was going to come. The pandemic came, and now that's what we're going through. Now, we all know that there's so much misinformation out there, so much, it just depends on who you talk to, who you watch, whatever. And, you know, when the election was going on, I was the first. I did not like this man. I didn't like what he said. I didn't like what he did. You know, his own narcissism. But you know, my guides kept telling me, you don't have to like the guy. Nobody's saying you gotta like the guy. Trust and have faith in what lies ahead. That's what I heard. And it's like, somebody has a very warped sense of humor. But I knew. And that's that knowing inside. You know. People ask you, well, how do you know? I can't tell you how I know, but I know. Well, I knew that Donald Trump had to be the president. That was the only way the masses were going to awaken. Now, the guy has been put through the ringer, you know. I mean, it hasn't been a storybook, a fairy tale for the guy in office. I mean, you know, they've made it pretty rough for him. But you know, short of him just being a businessman, and that's what he is. He's not a politician, first of all. And if you look at him from that standpoint, he's not a politician. He's a businessman. He approaches things from the business mentality. He doesn't come from the politician side. And if you look at what he created in the last 4 years, he did create a great economy. He did do a lot of really good things. And there's a lot of things we don't even know about because mainstream media won't tell us. They won't tell us. Child trafficking. He's the one that's really put the brakes on pedophilia, on child trafficking, human trafficking. You know, I can't tell you, believe me, but I will tell you, do your research, do your fact checking, use your critical thinking skills. Oh, I can't say that enough. And you know, whenever you get that nudge, that notion inside here, follow it. Because that's your inner self, your guides calling upon you, asking you to think, to maybe there's something there. Maybe I should. Maybe there is something to this. So never discount a feeling. Never. Feelings have so much viability, so much truth in them. Now, I know I probably upset a lot of people by saying that about Trump, but I'm telling you, we wouldn't be where we are. He didn't cause the pandemic. We know where that came from. He didn't cause the pandemic, okay? But the pandemic had to happen on his watch in order for there to be mass awakening. So, all in all, we should be very grateful to Donald Trump for how he's handled, what he's done. And you don't gotta like the guy. I don't like the guy. I don't like his rhetoric. I don't like it. But you know what? I don't even think about it, because it was shown to many a light worker prior to the 2016 election. You knew. That's that knowing. You knew if Hillary got in, we wouldn't be where we are today, and it would be horrible. Just go back and look at the past. That's all just go back and look at the past. So let's fast forward to today. So we've got this, everywhere you go, everywhere you click on the Great Awakening. I'm awake, all this. Well, let me just say this, because I've been awake for a while. I didn't get awakened just boom, because something went bad. That's not the way it works. And I said this in one of my other videos about the event. You don't get a go to the front of the line pass when you're awakening. And there's a lot of you out there right now that you think you're awake, but I'm going to go one better, and I'm going to tell you, you've become aware. And awareness is just as important, if not more so, to your awakening. Because now that you're aware, you're going to question, you're going to challenge, you're going to step out of your comfort zone and do your homework, do your research, turn on those critical thinking skills, and you just might find something that you go, whoa, well, I didn't think that happened, or I didn't realize that, and you'll change your mind about it. That is becoming aware. And never be ashamed or apologetic to learn something new. Never. Do you think I'd ever admit to what I did? Do you know how many years my family's thought I was crazy? And now it's like, you were so right. How did you know? All this. And I trust. I trust and I have faith in my inner guidance. I trust and I have faith in God, Great Spirit. I trust and I have faith in the universe. And we are all a part of that universe. And that's why, and now we have this, there's so many tributaries to this. There's so many paths, so many trails, roots growing out of all of this. And it just depends on which one you're on in any given moment. The Black Lives Matter. Well, this has come about because of George Floyd, God rest his soul. The man did not deserve to die, and it was a horrible, horrible thing. And out of it came another whole revolution. But before you have revolution, you have evolution. And that's what we're watching right now, is we're watching the evolution of humanity. And it just depends on what side you want to align with. It all depends on where your heart lies. And I encourage, and I know there's so many of you that have questions, and you're just like so confused. I know I was when I first started finding things out, and wow, I mean, and I still find things out today. It's like, whoa, really? And then, I go within, I find something, I research, I fact check, I piss a lot of people off in comment sections. But at the end of the day, I'm always guided by what I trust inside me, and I'm never failed. They never fail me. And when I say they, I say all the guides I have, my angels, my guides. They never fail me. I'm never steered wrong. And you've got the same thing. Every one of you, everybody watching this video, you have the same thing within you. And that's where you have to trust and have faith. And right now, more than ever, it's so important for you to balance yourself with all the chaos that's going on. And I just want to put it out there. If you have questions about what's going on spiritually, please leave me a comment. I'm happy to help in any way I can help, answer a question. It can be a lonely path when you are spiritually awakening, and there's things in your life that are beckoning you to take a look at. And I know a lot of my Lightworker friends from the old site, Lightworkers.org, I know that they're being beckoned because I've read some of their things. I've watched what they're doing, and they're getting the same beckoning that I am. And we knew that this time was coming, and we knew that we would be beckoned to stand up and be there. We are here as the way showers, as the light brigade, to shine the light, to help other people understand that you're not crazy, and what you're experiencing right now is one of the most beautiful. You'll never be the same again. You'll never be the same again. And it's when you get into a place, you can look at your life, you can look at other people, and whereas maybe at one time you might have judged or you might have criticized, you no longer do that. You honor other people's journeys, and if you're needed, if you are called to serve, you do. And that's what I feel like a lot of us are being called right now. We're being called to serve the masses that are awakening, but like I said, you got to become aware before you awaken. So many of you have become aware that things aren't what they seem, haven't been for a long time, and you need to do your own work, your own inner work. But if you need a little nudge or a little notion or a hug, I'm here, and I'm happy to share, to guide, to tell you, there's a lot of ways to heal, because that's what you're witnessing, like the Black Lives Matter movement, and a lot of these protesting. There's so much anger and so much darkness, but they just keep showing me that. And I've told my family this for the last 10 years. It's going to get worse before it gets better, because as the light comes up and shines brighter and brighter and brighter, it pushes the dark out. And that's what we're watching. We're watching the darkness come out, and it's not comfortable. Not comfortable at all. And that's where so many of you have questions, are doubting, but don't ever doubt a feeling. Don't ever feel like you're not worthy. You know, you're so worthy and more. You are so loved. If you only knew, if you only knew how loved you are in this universe, and that we are all one big common unity. Doesn't matter what color we are. Our hearts all beat the same color. It's just our gift wrap that's different. That's all. So I guess I'll close. I'll probably do some more of these because I'm being beckoned to do this because, and I keep writing and I keep telling people, you know, about awakening versus, it's spiritual awakening versus social awareness. Well, you're becoming socially aware at the same time as you're spiritually awakening, and they are connected because you're learning and you're going to see things that you could probably have never imagined. And it's, especially right now, it's scary. It's really scary. And, you know, we're coming up on very important times. We have some very huge planetary alignments. And if you read about astrology or anything, you'll know that we're in for some complicated times. And that's why it's more important than ever for you to learn to balance and for you to learn to go within. I wish you all well. I wish you peace, love, joy, kindness, and compassion. And in all that, please serve that to all those that you touch, because those are so important to all people, everybody you connect with. It's so important to hold each other near and dear. It really is. And hopefully we'll have Lightworkers back. It's coming along little by little, and Adion has been posting some stuff on there. I haven't really gotten involved yet. I've got another little site that I've been working on. If you go back to Lightworkers.org, maybe several of you will remember I had Soul Circle every Wednesday. And so I've started a little website called Our Soul Circle. So I'm just building it, and it's just a place, it's a place of peace. It's a place to come and, you know, share your feelings, and that's what we did in Circle. It was just sharing with each other and, you know, healing. And there's a lot of that. We all need to be aligning with the healing. I can't say that enough. It's so hard. There's so much anger and bitterness right now. And it hurts the heart when you watch people struggle. And it doesn't have to be that way. So, anyway, thank you. Namaste. I love you. Blessings.